ते आलाच तिकडे गेलात ना इको दोन मिनिट मला काय हेच पाहिजे ना टेस्टच करतो मग सर मॉर्निंग ग्रुप मेसेज करतो कोई नहीं आता या लाइन आवाज बंद केलाय का हॅलो चेक 1 2 3
हेलो चेक हेलो चेक
हॅलो
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organizing committee of I2ITCON 2026, hosted by I2IT Pune, along with IEEE Pune section, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to day two of the second IEEE International Conference on Information Implementation and Innovation in Technology. A special greetings to our distinguished guests, respected faculty members, researchers, industry professionals, authors, students, and participants joining us across India and around the world. IEEE I2ITCON serves an international platform for bringing us together, academia and industry, to exchange innovative ideas, present cutting edge research, and discuss emerging technologies that can shape the future. It's a pleasure to have you all with us as we continue this journey of learning, collaboration, and innovation. Today's program opens with an exciting keynote address on a topic that represents the next frontier of artificial intelligence. The keynote presentation is titled as Beyond ChatGPT and Understanding Agentic AI, the Next Generation Intelligent System. And it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker, Mr. Yogesh Mulajkar. Mr. Mulajkar is a data architect specialized in Adobe Experience Platform and Customer Journey Analytics, and an AEM subject matter expert at Adobe India. With over 20 years of experience in software engineering, enterprise architecture, and digital transformation, he has worked with globally recognized organizations including Adobe, Visa, Aviva, Kellogg's, and IBM. He is an Adobe certified expert in multiple technologies and is currently pursuing an MSc in data science at IU, Germany, reflecting his commitment towards advancing his expertise in artificial intelligence and analytics. His work focuses on helping enterprises build international customer experience solution powered by AI, digital engineering, and cloud technology. It's truly an honor to have Mr. Yogesh Mulajkar with us today. Over to you, sir.
Yep. Thanks, Subhita. Yep. Good morning, everyone. I can present my screen in a minute. I hope I'm audible to everyone, right?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
audible. Okay. Let me present my screen and then we can get started. Is my screen visible? Hello. Yep. Is my screen visible? I'm unable to present, right? Is my screen visible earlier? I'm not sure whether you guys can see my screen. Can someone confirm
Yes,
that?
the screen is not visible, sir. I can see you, but the screen is not visible. Yes, sir. The screen is available now.
Title obviously talks everything, right? So before we begin, just a simple question that I want to present, and probably due to time, probably I may not basically go ahead and check with everyone, but that's fine. So basically, I'm sure that all of you are already aware of the chat GPT. How many of you, I'm sure it is regularly something that you are using across whatever the things that you guys are doing currently in terms of study or in terms of any research, right? And if I'm not wrong, this is something it's common to you, all of you guys, right now. So, so the another questions: how many of us really use AI almost every day, right? So what is a chat GPT, Gemini, right? GitHub, Copilot, Claude. There are many others tools which are similar to the chat GPT, which you guys are aware. And there are different usage. When I talk about Claude, obviously it is going to help you in terms of coding. And you guys are coming from the IT background and all those things. The implementation is something which you guys need to think about it. So these are different things. So AI has become a part of our daily lives, which you all know. And today, I'm not just going to talk about ChatGPT. It's something beyond what is coming to us in front of us, and how should we get ready. So, so as I mentioned, let's not talk just about the ChatGPT. Let's talk something which is called as agentic AI, which is the future for us. And I'll present. Basically we'll go one by one and we'll see. So so Sudvita has already introduced me. Thanks, Sudvita, for that. So yeah, I'll skip this slide and I'll move to the next. So let's talk about something. Imagine that you are waking up to tomorrow and every software application suddenly disappears. So no Google, no Maps, no YouTube, no chat gpts. So it's really difficult for us to survive in that, right? Can you imagine your day in that case? Probably not. So technology has become our assistants nowadays. AI is rapidly becoming our co-workers, and this is how we should basically think about it nowadays. So AI is already helping us, as I mentioned, writing the code, answering the emails, summarizing the meetings, creating a presentation. It's basically helping us to generate the videos and even diagnosing the diseases. So there are multiple use cases which you guys definitely aware of it. And this is one of the beginning, to be very honest. And every industry is being reshaped right now, and that's where we stand at the moment. And the question is not just about whether AI will affect our career, but now the question is become how we prepared you will be when it does. So let's say something happens around this world. So how are we ready with that? And that's what I want to answer today's with my the deck which I am presenting. So let's go dive into one by one. So let me walk you through the evolution of the AI. So one simple timeline. I'm sure most of you are already aware as you are coming from the IT background. So you know it that earlier it is rule-based AI. What happens when someone writes certain, if this happens, then we say do this particular logic or fix logic. No learning over there, right? Early chatbots, if you can see, it will just answer specific to your questions based on whatever the data that is available in the system. It's just letting you know what is available, and based on that you are taking the decision, you are taking a next step. Again, it's again a manual stuff. So there is next step, as you see on my screen, it's a machine learning. The system learns from the data, right? It on its own and start helping us. So how it will help? Basically figuring out the spam, any product recommendation. Let's say you visit any of the retail merchandise site, then let's say you visited one of the product, then related product recommendation will come when you visit next time or on the same time. These are the different offering which you might be interested. So these are the use cases, personas which you guys can see as a part of machine learning. And obviously there are multiple things: fraud detection in terms of banking application or insurance, right? That's where all this is based on your machine learning. So deep learning is another aspect which will take further to the next level of the AI, where we learn the complex pattern using the neural network, image recognition, voice assistant, right? All those things are possible to the deep learning, where we are talking about neural, right? And that will help us to quickly and understand what type of image is this, what voice commands you already knows, the Alexa and all those things, right? So this is where we already there. And now next to that, that's where which I want to take is two things: generative AI and agentic AI. Generative AI is something rapidly there are two for any website or let's say any app. We need to create the content, and it should be uh, it's something which is up to the as per the current situation of the market, or let's say what demands in right now, or there are quite changes happening in the system across the environments and all those things. So creating content to that pace, it's definitely not possible. So that's where generative AI is going to help us to create new content, text, images, code, videos. ChatGPT, you already knows that this will help in some extent, but on its own, based on your business domain, what need to be shared as a part of your website, app, and which content prominently helping us the customer to come back. If I really talk about any, let's say some marketing site, right, which content are most interested for which particular area of domain, or which particular age that attract those type of content. So all those things are basically, that's where generative AI is going to come into the picture. So now agentic AI, I'm just looking at my time also. So agentic AI, it basically doesn't answer to that specific. It basically takes beyond that. It's just not creating the content, but it's also helping us to completing that work. That is the leap that we are talking about today. So I'll quickly go to this screen. So all of you know the Chat GPT and the generative AI, as I mentioned. And here is the simplest way to understand the difference. So suppose you ask something, plan your trip for a Goa. It gives you the hotel, restaurant ideas, but you still need to search the flight, book the hotel, reserve the restaurant, right? As per your budget, as per your timings, and all those things. And then basically add it to the calendar and make the payment accordingly. But ChatGPT just answered your question. It didn't do the work for you. For example, as I mentioned, booking specific time slot for at specific hotel which you are interested. That's where Chat GPT is not going to help you. So that's where this AI agent, that is the what we are referring now, you can do the same thing. It searches the flight. It just not searches the flight. It doesn't stop over there. It basically compare the price for you. It books the best option for you based on your criteria. Then send the confirmation email. Then it's basically update your calendar or certain notification through your mobile messages, WhatsApp, or a reservation, as I mentioned. All those things are, that's where agentic AI or AI agent is going to help you. And this is how basically based on our criteria, based on budget, based on date, time, everything will be taken care by the AI. So this is an LLM, that is large language model. I'm sure you guys have already heard about it. This is based on what data available over the internet, let's say within that systems and all those things. That's where this AI agent basically adopts to that, accomplishes it. And this is the single most distinction when we really look with the Chat GPT as compared to the agentic AI. So some people refer as AI agent and agentic AI. Basically, agentic AI is something completing work on behalf of you, but obviously it will keep you in a loop, a human in the loop. Probably, I'm sure who's ever basically studying across all these things, they are already aware of it. But yeah, if there are any things, I can definitely let you know those steps. So quickly, what is LLM? I'm sure, but I'll quickly take a talk about it and then AI agent. So as I mentioned, let's talk about the comparison. So LLM is basically receives the questions that is to the prompt, right, and it generates the answer. This is entire loop. This is how we basically interact with any chat GPT or LLM model. It stops and waits for the next input. Unless you provide certain input, it don't doesn't go for the next step. It cannot take any action in the real world. It's on its own, right? So basically that's where an AI agent receives a goal, where you define the goal. It reasons about how to achieve it. It breaks into the steps. It uses the tool, search engine, API database, calendars, email. Basically it takes the action based on your goal. It checks the result, and it basically not basically check the result. Basically it adapts to as per your goal, and that is how it will move ahead. Think about it in this way. If you ask very smart person a question, they answer you, that's an LLM. If you ask certain question, a smart person generally answer. But let's say if you hire a very smart assistant and give them a task, so they figure out how to get it done, use every tool available in the market, come back with the result. And this is what you can basically think about is that is an AI agent. So one answer and one accomplishment around that. It's just not limiting to answer it and leave it over there. So this is the difference when you think about LLM versus AI agent. Uh, and let's go into that basically again. Chat. I'll moving to the next screen. So how do we basically do that? So let me give another example that hits closer to your home. Health goals, right? Suppose you say to a chatbot, I want to lose 5 kg of weight. It says, obviously, it will let you know the diet plan, it's healthy plans, exercise regularly. Technically, always, whatever the things are possible, it will just list out in front of you. But when you discuss with the AI agent does something entirely different. What it does, it creates your gym schedule. It builds your diet chart based on your food preference. It sets the daily reminder and it tracks weight each week. And let's say for some reason you miss that session on your progress. So what will happen? AI agents will basically adapt to that plan. It does not just answer once and forget you. It basically going to change, adapt your whatever the ongoing activity that you are doing. Let's say some improvement is required, or some, let's say, correction is required, or you already achieved the goal, what will be the next goal. So all those things are possible through the AI agents. So this is planning and memory working together. That's what actually happening in the AI agent. The agent remembers your goal, it tracks progresses over time, and adjusts its approach based on what is actually happening. That is the power of agentic loop. So yeah. Now, I'm just giving you a couple of examples and just to imagine what we are referring. So, we have just talked about one agent, but there are multiple things in the entire world, right? And that they need to coordinate and work together. So, that's the reason I took on one example of like what happens when one agent is not just enough, right? And we build the team for agents. So, to think about like a team India, the captain sets the strategy. Obviously, as you know, the bowler focuses on the wickets, batsman focuses on the runs, so on, based on whatever the different roles is that each person in this cricket era is a specialist, and together they basically plan to win the match, to accomplish the goal. And that is how we can need to think about it. So multi-agent system is the same thing, which work exactly in the same way. It's as a planner, agent breaks down the big goal. A researcher agent basically gather the information. A coding agent, which we talked about it, right? So it's basically write the solution. A testing agent, which is required once you complete your coding effort, checks the quality. A deployment, it's just not limiting after your implementation, validation, testing. The next step is to basically making available that a deployment agent ships that is the final deliverable product. And each agent is, as I mentioned, it is basically specialized in its category. Now what is actually happening with the multi-agent system is together they solving the problem they that no single agent is actually could handle alone, right? So every other agent has, as I mentioned, it is specifically designed for that purpose. And once we combine this, that's where this multi-agent is going to help us. So this is how the most sophisticated AI systems are built in the system in the recent enterprise digital organization. So not in one giant model trying to do everything, and basically, but it's coordinated teams and specialized agent. So this is what the multi-agent system. That's where we are going ahead. So I'll just talk about one more example quickly. So basically, and then we can talk about. There is another concept. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Model Context Protocol (MCP). And just example, as you guys are basically, let me introduce this concept. What exactly it does. So think about like a USB-C connector. Everyone is using it, right? Before USB-C, every device had a different port. Your phone charger did not fit your laptop. Your headphones needed a different adapter. So USB-C is basically solve that. What is actually it is coming? It is basically universal connector for everything. So MCP, Model Context Protocol, does the same thing for the AI. Before MCP, every AI system had to build custom integration for every tool, like a Gmail, GitHub. Slack, database. It was busy and fragmented. So if you want to collaborate with every other solution which are there, then that's where MCP is going to help you. So MCP create a standard protocol, so any AI agent can connect to any software tool using the same interface. So there is no need to change anything. It's just the one single interface through which you are connecting with your GitHub, Slack, database, or let's say any website related activity. So this is what allows AI agent to check your email, update your calendar, push the code. The example which we just talked about it, right, in the multi-agent, it's basically helping us to complete the task. So pushing the code to the GitHub, validating it. Then let's say based on that, you want to notify it through the WhatsApp, Slack, or any other messaging channel which are there. So it's basically doing all other activities which are around that. So you do not need to deeply understand MCP right now, but I'm just giving you the concept. This is what where we are going. So just remember, it is what the Let's AI talk to your software tools. So yeah, I'm not sure how many of you already aware of this RAG concept, retrieval augmented generation. So as we talked about chat, the question when we ask for a GPT, it just tell you today's stock price. Let's say I ask for a stock price of Adobe or some other company, let's say Tata. Stock price, it just let you know the today's stock price for a small Indian startup, or probably not. Why? Because ChatGPT was trained on the data that is up to the certain point in the time, where whatever the data that you have basically added into the system, it just answers those questions. It has no access to the live data on or a company private document or any other system which has keeping additional data on top of that, how it will be, the what will be the future values for that stock and all those things. And this is where retrieval augmented generation is going to help you solve the problem elegantly. It's not just limiting your static answering. It basically gives you dynamic touch to that particular whatever the prompt that you are putting. So when you ask a question, retriever searches your own knowledge base. And as I mentioned, it's just not limiting to that. It basically goes beyond that. Your database, you report which is outside and find out the most relevant information. So the information is handled to the LLM as a context. The LLM then generates the answers guided in your actual current private data. So this result, the result which I'm talking, AI system that knows your world, not just the public internet. This is how the enterprise AI system nowadays are built, and it is the skill worth learning, and that's the reason why we are talking about agentic AI. And I'll go further in detail. Uh, so let's bring this into your word. How does the agentic AI change the education system? So imagine an AI tutor that explain any concept exactly the your level of understanding. So in our class, let's say there are 10 students or 20 students, obviously everyone's understanding is different. But as and when class teacher goes ahead, it goes on a different level. Some people student might understand, not understand. But that's where if you start utilizing AI tutor, what will be, it will be basically fine tune as per your need. It will reiterate those concepts where you are probably not aware of it. It will give more conceptual ideas, explain examples and all those things, and that's how you basically go to the next step. So you can ask the same question 10 times in a 10 different ways until it's basically understand. So it doesn't judgment you, right? If let's say if I've today a very basic thing which I supposed to be aware, and that's the reason I'm shy to ask those questions. So that won't happen in AI world, right? You basically go ahead and ask very basic questions. It doesn't basically make you that you are coming with the basic questions, and it doesn't basically stops you or something. The way the human behavior, right, basically goes towards that, right, the thinking around it. So it's basically, it's not taking any judgment based on your question. It's basically letting you know to achieve your goals. What at the end it matters for us is to understand that particular concept and go ahead with that. So imagine a homework assistant that does not just give you the answer, it walks you through the keys, each step, reasoning step by step. So that is how you basically learn and you move it. So this is one thing for education. Imagine a career guide where you can analyze your current skills, understand the job market, and recommends a personalized learning path based on your skill, based on what you basically done as a part of your overall projects, different white papers, and all those things. So that's where career guide is going to help you. And quickly, and here's basically another question. If you just think about it, let's say I want you to sit with, would you rather study alone or have an AI tutor available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Who knows your weakness, right? And adapts to your pace. So that's where this is AI tutor is going to help you. Student who learn to collaborate with AI will have a serious advantage, and over those who do not, starts now. I'll definitely suggest start utilizing this AI agent, because this will build as per your where you stand and what you are trying to achieve. It will definitely help you to achieve that goal. So definitely let's not limit, start immediately acting on this. So there are multiple industries across agentic AI. Agentic AI is just not limited one sector. It's health sector, banking, enterprises, different enterprises. So if I talk about an healthcare, AI agent basically booking the appointment, summarizing the medical report, flagging drug interactions, and all those things. I'm not going in a detail, but you know it, right? In a banking, loan application approval, validation of your customer stuffs, and all those things. So personalize any investment advice and all those things. So quickly, I'll go to. I think we have less time, but yeah. So let me cube where we are at the moment in Adobe also. So let me talk about that enterprise level, what Adobe is doing. So I'll keep this. Try to shorten this quickly. So imagine a customer visiting an airline website. So obviously they browse the flight, they leave, they come back, they search again, and eventually they book. Each of those movements generate a signal. So Adobe, what it does, there is a tool called as Adobe Experience Platform. It collects every signal from every channels and builds a customer, and we generally call it as a unified customer profile. So web behavior, we track that. You must have noticed on a Gmail, or you must have seen that based on your behavior, email interaction, call center history, mobile app usage, all in one place. So AEP basically collates that data. The next step after collation, obviously we do not stop over there. So there is a concept called as customer journey analytics, which is basically that basically goes analyzes across all the channel, understand where the customer is in their decision process and where they are most likely to the next. So this is where the CGA basically analyzes. That is what customer journey analytics. There is another tool. Once we analyze, obviously we need to do certain action. Otherwise, what is the use of it, right? So Adobe Journey Optimizer is another tool that intelligence and orchestrate the next best experience, the right personalized offer. As and when you enter to the let's say airport, your flight at so and so get at right moment, right? And unless you check in, the check in or security check in, it will pass on that message. And this is all those things are done through this type of tools, Adobe is coming up with the Adobe Journey Optimizer. All depends on your online or live tracking. So it will basically give you right message at the right time. It doesn't give any stale messages, and it doesn't make any sense. So unless you basically check in, you are really not bothered about which gate number or whether there is a flight delay or something like that. So that all those things matter, and that's where Adobe is working. So there are multiple tools. I just took few examples. An AI agent basically here coordinating all this system together autonomously, detect the signal, analyze the context, decide what is the next action, execute all without a human pulling a report and making it a manual decision, right? Everything is such an automated way. You'll basically never have any human to basically involve in that and then basically get it. So this is a real world example of agentic AI. AI's enterprise customer experience, and it's happening today. And you guys have definitely seen, if you enter into the mall or anything that you last time visited, it will let you know what is the next offer on that. So we are going towards that. We are living in that world right now. So with this great power, obviously responsibility, right? We talk about power always comes up with the responsibility in the life. or whether it is AI. So AI agents are different from the chat bots because they take the real action. They send the email, they approve the loans, they recommend the treatment. With when something goes wrong, the consequences are real, right? So that's where the responsibility is more matter. If you're giving wrong messages, then it will basically impact. So bias is especially important to understand. A bias AI model does not just give one bad answer. It makes thousands of biased decisions at a scale before anyone notices that. And that can harm the real people. And that's where the responsibility comes up. Responsible AI basically rests a few of the key pillars. Like there are pillars like a privacy, security, bias reduction, transparency, and human oversight. So all these things, a responsible AI is not constrained on innovation. It is what it makes the innovation trustworthy. And I think this is what your theme talks about for this conference: innovation making toward the trustworthy and sustainable. It's just not for one of the things which is happening right now, but it should sustain in the upcoming days, in the futures, and all those things. So yeah, I think let probably I'll talk about the skills that what I want to talk refer about in the coming days. Let me just direct what skills that matters in the coming days. So let me direct with you about what skills actually matters for your career in the agentic AI. So first and most thing, and some of you already knows and it's already there, but fundamental things like a Python, which is primary is the language of AI engineering. Not because it is trendy, obviously it's because of virtually every AI framework, every ML libraries, every agentic system is built with an or compatible with the Python. And so learn it deeply. APIs, uh, cloud, are how AI systems talk to each others and scale. If you cannot read in an API or deeply to a cloud environment, you cannot build any production AI system. So on the AI specific skill, prompt engineering is another thing which you guys must have heard about it. So it's more valuable. Most people realize this is the way you prompt, it will basically come up with the respective. That's how the you communicate with the AI system, then determine the what quality of you will get back out of it, right? It is a skill. So RAG, which we talked about it, right? RAG and vector database, how you build uh, AI that knows your specific data. LangChain, this is another thing which you guys should be aware. And we talked about MCP, model context protocol, are the framework that connect these agents to the world. And here is the most important thing I will say today: human skills, critical thinking, judgment, communication are what will separate you from the someone who just uses AI versus someone who builds it. But and it governs it. Technology changes and human judgment stays. So skills, these are the things, skill which I just mentioned. Keep those things in mind. So as I mentioned first, basically AI has evolved from answering the questions, just not for a basic questions, to the completing real world work. Agentic AI is basically coming up with the reasons, planning, uses the tool, act and learn. It just not stop. Let's say something goes wrong today with the AI, it basically keep on learning and it will correct on its own, and then it will come back to you. So this is the fundamental difference in the chat GPT and the system that we are building. Second, it's basically AI is not just replacing the human. Probably most of us we are thinking that toward, but it is becoming the most powerful co-worker, assistant, and tool that human have ever had access to. The people who knows how to work alongside it will have an enormous advantage. Third, which I really want to talk about it, your starting point is clear: learn Python, learn APIs, learn prompt engineering, and then try to build something. Do not just read about the AI agent, create one. Even a small personal project teaches you more than 100 sites. The gap between someone who uses the AI and someone who builds with the AI is like between riding on a car and knowing how to drive the car. So I'll say start driving. Yep, I think this is the tagline. The future, as I mentioned, every major technology revolves has created new opportunities for those who were prepared. We saw it, and with the internet, we saw it with the smartphone, we saw it with the cloud computing. So agentic AI is the next revolution. My advice is simple: do not just use AI. Learn how it works. Learn how to build with it. learn how to collaborate with. The future belongs not to those who compete with the AI, but to those who know how to work it alongside. I think, yeah, probably I may not able to take, but offline, if you guys want to reach out, LinkedIn or my personal email ID, I'll share, and do let me know. I'll answer if you have any queries and all those things. I comes to an end. Thank you all for your time and energy today. I genuinely hope the sessions made Agentic a little less mysterious and a lot more exciting to all of you. I would be happy to answer any question you mention, and then we'll take it. One finalized, do not leave today and wait. Start this week, install, as I mentioned. Start if you guys have not started with that LangChain, Python, build something small. That is where your clear learning begins. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for this insightful session. Your presentation has given us a deeper understanding to agentic AI and its real world application that present us to the researchers, students, and across all professionals. We are grateful to have you here with us, sharing your knowledge, industry experts with us today. On behalf of the organizing committee of IEEE I2ITCON 2026, please accept our heartfelt thanks for your time and for delivering such an thought-provoking session. We wish you a continued success for your future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we conclude the keynote session today. On our next event is technical session of paper presentation. We request all the presenters and session chair to join their respective virtual meeting rooms a few minutes ahead of their time. Thank you for your active presentation and participation. We wish you an encouraging session ahead and a wonderful rest of the day at IEEE I2ITCON 2026. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.